What should have been a soft, joyful moment for a child slowly turned into one of the most emotionally explosive chapters in Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert's already fractured story. Birthdays are meant to feel safe. They are supposed to exist outside of adult conflict, untouched by unresolved tension, especially when parents are no longer together. But when emotions are still raw, boundaries are unclear, and wounds have not yet healed, even a celebration can become a battlefield. When Iman unexpectedly showed up, everything Teyana had been holding together seemed to unravel all at once. From the outside, people often underestimate how heavy moments like birthdays feel after a breakup. They are not just milestones for the child. They are emotional reminders of what once was, shared memories, old traditions, photographs that now feel more like ghosts than nostalgia. For Teyana, this birthday was never just about balloons and cake. It was about emotional control, safety, and the desperate effort to create one space where things didn't feel complicated. One space where her daughter could smile without tension quietly filling the room. That is why Iman's appearance hit so hard. According to those close to the situation, there were unspoken expectations surrounding how co-parenting would function, especially during public and emotionally sensitive moments. This was never about denying love or access. It was about boundaries, about communication, about understanding when presence brings peace, and when it brings disruption. When Iman arrived without that emotional alignment, it didn't feel like a surprise visit. It felt like an intrusion. Teyana didn't explode because of a single moment. She exploded because of everything that came before it. Months of silence, lingering misunderstandings, feeling unheard, feeling like her emotional labor was once again being dismissed. Pressure like that doesn't disappear just because you're holding a birthday cake. It sits beneath the surface, waiting for the smallest crack to escape through. And when it finally did, it came out sharp, emotional, and unapologetic. Witnesses say the energy in the room shifted instantly. What had been light suddenly felt heavy. Conversations paused. Smiles froze. It was the kind of tension that didn't need words to announce itself. Teyana's reaction wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't calculated. It was raw. And that rawness is what shocked people the most. Her words, "Stay out of our lives," landed like a thunderclap. To some, the statement sounded harsh, final, even cruel. To others, it sounded like the cry of someone who had been pushed beyond her emotional limit. Context matters. But context is often the first thing lost when moments like this go public. Fans heard the phrase and immediately chose sides without fully understanding the emotional buildup behind it. Social media, as expected, didn't wait for clarity. It never does. Within hours, clips, captions, and interpretations flooded timelines. Some painted Teyana as controlling, accusing her of weaponizing access to her own child. Others defended her fiercely, arguing that boundaries are not cruelty, they are survival. The internet thrives on extremes, and this situation fed directly into that hunger. Iman notably did not respond right away, and once again his silence became its own controversy. People questioned his intentions. Was he genuinely trying to show up as a father? Or was this another moment where timing and communication failed? Silence can look calm, but it can also look dismissive, depending on who is watching. And perception, especially in public breakups, often becomes louder than truth. What made this moment different from previous drama was the presence of the child. Fans who had followed their love story for years suddenly felt protective, not of either adult, but of the innocent space that felt violated. The conversation shifted. People stopped asking who was right and started asking who was being hurt the most by the ongoing conflict. For Teyana, that concern likely mirrored her own fear. When you are a parent navigating separation, control is not about power. It is about predictability, knowing who will show up, when they will show up, and how they will show up. Children thrive on emotional consistency, especially when family structures change. Any unexpected shift can feel destabilizing, not only for the child, but for the parent trying desperately to hold everything together. That is why her reaction felt so intense. It wasn't about shutting Iman out of fatherhood. It was about protecting emotional ground she felt was being crossed repeatedly without discussion or respect. Still, Emotions do not exist in isolation. Supporters of Iman argued that showing up for his daughter should never be framed as wrongdoing. They questioned why presence itself was interpreted as disruption. And within that debate lies the core conflict. Two people interpreting the same moment through entirely different emotional lenses. This was never just a birthday incident. It was a collision of unresolved pain. Old wounds resurfaced quickly. Fans began rewatching old interviews, reality show clips, and social media moments, searching for signs they might have missed. Jokes that once felt playful now felt loaded. Pauses that once seemed insignificant now felt intentional. As often happens when love ends publicly, the story of their marriage began rewriting itself in hindsight. Fame only made everything heavier. In a private life, this might have been a contained moment. A heated argument, tears behind closed doors, emotions processed away from cameras. But in the public eye, it became a headline. A moment frozen and replayed without the full emotional context that led to it. Teyana's frustration wasn't only about Iman. It was about constantly having to manage perception while navigating real pain. Every reaction she had was judged. Every boundary questioned. And eventually, restraint turns into exhaustion. That exhaustion showed. Fans noticed a shift in her afterward. Less measured, more guarded, less concerned with appearing graceful and more focused on being clear. When she expressed the need for distance, it wasn't framed delicately. It was framed urgently, almost like a warning. I can't keep doing this halfway. The phrase "stay out of our lives" scared people because it sounded permanent. But emotionally, permanence is often how pain speaks when it feels ignored. It isn't always a final decision. Sometimes, it's a desperate plea for space. Iman's continued quiet response added another layer of tension. Some viewed it as maturity. Others saw it as avoidance. But one thing was undeniable. Communication between them had completely broken down. And when communication dies, conflict speaks instead. What makes this situation so heartbreaking is that both sides appear to be hurting for very different reasons. Teyana feels protective, overwhelmed, and emotionally depleted. Iman likely feels pushed out, misunderstood, and stripped of moments he believes he deserves as a father. Both realities can exist at the same time. And that is what makes co-parenting after love so painfully complex. Children don't understand adult boundaries. They understand presence, tone, and emotional energy. Moments like this carry consequences far beyond headlines. And for once, fans seem to recognize that. Many stopped arguing about blame and began questioning whether constant public dissection was doing more harm than good. Because healing does not happen under a spotlight. This incident changed how people viewed their post-marriage dynamic. It no longer felt like a slow, manageable separation. It felt volatile, fragile. Like one wrong move could turn another private moment into public chaos. Trust, already thin, seemed to erode even further. Could this be repaired? Possibly, but only if both sides choose communication over reaction and privacy over performance. Without that, moments like this will not be the last. They will become the pattern. In the end, this moment was never truly about a birthday being interrupted. It was about emotional boundaries being crossed at a time when everyone involved was already fragile. It was about unresolved pain rising to the surface, louder and more forceful than any carefully planned intention. When emotions stay buried for too long, they don't come out calmly. They come out raw, messy, and impossible to ignore. That is exactly what unfolded in front of the public eye. What people witnessed wasn't just another viral clip designed to spark debate. It was two individuals carrying the weight of shared history, complicated emotions, and the responsibility of parenthood, while knowing the world was watching and judging every reaction. In moments like these, love and resentment don't exist separately. They collide. And when they do, even small actions can feel like deep betrayals, reopening wounds that never fully healed. This wasn't about anger for attention. It was about grief. Grief for a family structure that once existed and now feels permanently broken. Grief for a sense of peace that still feels just out of reach. And grief, when it finally speaks, rarely sounds calm or respectful. It speaks through frustration, raised voices, and emotional outbursts because it carries years of unspoken hurt.